Hello and welcome to Stage 2 of the 2020 GTE event for Update 8.6. In this one, we just have to get up to position 5. Now, something I didn't mention in the first video is that I am not going to be taking it slow. Because this event requires minimum upgrades, I am just going to be blasting through it because these are easier. It's pretty rare that you get a really hard stage in this type of an event. It's happened once in a while, but not very much. So I'm not going to be holding back. I'm just going to be blasting through all this because I actually want the bots to get harder. As you can see here, these guys are slow. I still have no tuning. All I have is my driver level, and my driver level is 6. And so that's not much of a PR boost so far. And yeah, I want to push it and make sure that I'm understanding the limits of this track against traffic. And it's pretty easy so far. I love the drafting feature in these events. I'm glad that they're always putting it in now. Makes it a lot more realistic. Would be kind of cool if it was in the whole game, like several people have said, but looks like that's just going to be a motorsports feature, and I guess that makes sense. In street racing, I guess you don't necessarily do a lot of drafting, but at any rate, here we are. This is a nice little section of this track of Red Bull Ring here. You can get a lot of speed. And as you can see here, I'm definitely going for the lead. It's not required, but that's what I want to do because I can. And you'll see, if you watch this all the way to the end, you can see whether this makes it harder on me or not. I'm feeling a little bit better about that last corner. I was mentioning in my video for stage 1 that I have trouble there sometimes, and I probably will have trouble there again. So, easy first race of stage 2. One thing to note about the earnings screen, I finished first, so I'll get paid more than if you finish 5th. Okay, now this one can really confuse you. I messed this one up several times. It's actually not that hard. Can't go over 90 miles an hour, so I switched over to miles per hour. That's easier to see. I tried doing a bunch of really aggressive blocking here to hold these guys back, and obviously it didn't necessarily work. I don't care if I get damaged right now, but I thought I could pit some of these guys and maybe hold them back, but it says you can't go over 90 for the first lap. I thought it meant the whole first lap, not just this partial lap, and no. As soon as you reach the line here, you can floor it. However, there's one very important thing to know, and that is that if you drive this really aggressively, you won't have enough cars to pass. We start this race in position 5, and I tried holding people back and then flooring it, and I ran out of people to pass because you can't get higher than position 5. Well, I couldn't with the tuning / upgrades / whatever I've got. So don't be afraid to let several guys pass you because they're slow. The only requirement was to finish in 10th place, that's where I am right now, but I still have more cars to pass. And being as I totally damaged myself, I'm already going to be slower, and I've caused my grip to suffer a bit, which is the main attribute of this car at this point, is the grip. In fact, while these cars are exceptionally grippy, especially the Porsches when it comes to these types of race cars, they tend to favor grip, which can be kind of fun. Going through corners really fast in a Porsche is always quite fun. So as you can see, I still have a few cars to pass and one more lap to go, but we can see that they're in sight. And worst case scenario, I'd slow down and let some guys pass me, but it's not going to be required. I want to pit him. It's actually pretty hard to pit these cars because they've got high grip. And one rule of doing the pit maneuver, at least in this game, if you're trying to pit a car that has higher grip than you, it's going to be difficult. And because I really damaged myself, I've definitely lost some grip. Now, of course, I'll get that back at the end of the race, but sometimes people don't know that when you damage yourself in a race, all of your stats suffer. So you have less top speed, you will accelerate slower, your grip goes down, and your braking distance will increase. So it is a good idea to avoid damage. It'll definitely make you faster, but the advantage of a really damaged car is it can't get any worse. So that's when you see me doing stuff like bump passing, shoving people out of my way. You can actually do it gently and it won't hurt you, but I sometimes don't like doing it very gently, as you know if you've watched my channel in the past. So at this point, still no tuning. I expect that to be coming up soon, maybe not today, but I do expect there to be tuning requirements because that's what race day events are like. And so that basically you can just upgrade your car and, oh boy, that was a really bad corner. Okay, well, never mind what I said last race. I'm still having trouble there. I'm gonna have to work on my braking and my acceleration points. Still, easy race. Not much you can do about the earnings there. Well, I finished as high as I could. I couldn't get higher than 5th. So that's about what you can get there. Sometimes I find it funny how they assume we just follow the instructions. You push it harder to position 7th. Well, I'm in position 5, don't you know? But, oh well. Okay, so I'm switching back over to kilometers per hour because that's my standard use. And that's what I like to see for myself, although I use both, as you've noticed. And I don't think this is going to be very hard. So again, I'm using the 3rd sign as my braking point. And you take that right, you get into the throttle nicely early in the corner. Here, this is actually a pretty short braking point. After the last distance marker, a little bit of braking into the gas. And then after the red and white rumble strip ends, he'll be in my way a bit. Yep. And then coming up here, distance markers are on your left. I'm braking at the last sign, so right as I'm passing it. And then as we get into this corner, you can see there's a section here, kind of where the white and the grass are meeting. So the grass starts on the left and there's some white. I'm kind of braking at that point. And let's see here, heading into this first corner, just after the shaded section ends, there's a little road joining the track. I'm braking at about that point. That's an interesting corner. You need to start turning earlier than you think. And you can actually go over in an area, it looks like you're going off track that you're not. Now, one thing to remember about Real Racing 3 is that as long as 2 tires are still on track, well, honestly, you can even have only 1 tire on track, and it will classify you as still being on track in an event that says no off track. So that's why you'll see like right here or going into that was really close, but my right sides were still on the rumble strip, and so that was considered on track. Now, if you want to get technical, as far as calculating damage at the end of the race, if any tires go off of the track, you will get more damage and you will lose clean race bonus. However, what you'll notice from a lot of the faster drivers is that you just can't afford to have all 4 tires on track all the time. You'll give up way too much speed against the competition, especially in weekly time trial tournaments. So watch here, just after this shaded section ends, you'll see a little bit of a road, and that's about where I'm braking. And then right there, I took that one. That was a really good trajectory, at least. Might have been able to brake a little bit later, but that's about how you take that corner to maximize it. Now, some people will take 2 tires off track heading into that corner to increase the trajectory a little bit and carry a little more speed. And that can be a really good thing to do. It's tricky because if you have 2 tires off track while you're braking, your braking distances increase. So that means you're going to have to brake earlier if you want to have 2 tires off track. And this is definitely a track where that's beneficial. During the McLaren 720S GT3 event, I was really shocked how amazing Speed Junkie took these sections in a car with no upgrades. And he was going with 2 tires off track in almost every corner. Ooh, I really skidded that one. So you just have to adjust your braking points if you're going to take 2 tires off. Like here, I've got 2 tires off because I want to increase my trajectory, and then I was barely on the brakes. There I also had 2 tires off, and you can see I suffered a little bit because I didn't brake early enough. Still, easy race, no issue. I really couldn't do better than 6th, and that's okay because I only had to get 7th. So that's a good enough finish. I would have liked to have earned more, but that's okay. All right, and now it's when we're expected to go for it. So we're supposed to podium a finish, place at least 3rd. Well, I don't want to place at least 3rd, so I'm going to be pushing it more here. And one thing, of course, let's see here. Yep, no need to brake right there. Because the computer was driving our car for that section, they never drive it very well. So I was not heading into that corner with maximum speed. So let's just see here. I'm not sure how much the field is spaced out. Oops, that was definitely off track. So that is not what I wanted to do. I started turning a bit too late. But yeah, it's a little bit of a longer race here, and it looks like things are really spaced out, so I'm not sure if they're all going to be this way. There, that was not off track. I kept my left sides or went over the yellow section there. I don't think that was off track. Well, I'll keep pushing it that way. That's kind of how I've driven it in time trials, but it's been a while since we had a time trial tournament here, like as far as the weekly time trial is concerned. That probably was off track. That corner's very touchy. On some corners, you can go just over the rumble strip when you're still on track, not here. So you got to be careful here. That rumble strip is basically, that's your outer limits. Don't want to push that much. There we go. Some nice draft off of him. Get a little bit of a push. Got to be careful when you're doing that. Like, I like to get as much of a push as possible, but of course once in a while you can end up getting in trouble. And here I'll be a little more careful. Try to do an outside pass. Oh, that worked great. So I'm already in third place. And 1 lap to go. Well, oh, there they are. Oops. Now that was okay. Okay, I don't think first place should be a problem here. Just depends how well these cars take the next braking points. Once in a while you get some guys here that are really difficult. And I'm braking kind of at the second last sign, I think. I'll have to look at that again. Took me a little while to figure out where I wanted to brake for that corner. This corner I'm pretty happy with the third sign, but I'm drafting right now, so that's going to affect my braking distance. Yeah, I'll do a little bit earlier and set up a nice inside pass. That was some good racing. He gave me the line. I wasn't sure if he would. Sometimes they fight you for it. Yeah, that was nice. Good, clean racing. Sometimes I get pretty bored of clean racing, but here we'll keep it clean. I'll just do a nice pass on that guy, get a bit of a push, and there we go. I will be at the top of the podium where I belong. Also, it's nice to get maximum earnings, and we got a lapped car. Well, not lapped yet, I guess, unless I pass him, which I will not do. All right, well, there you go. As you can see, that wasn't very difficult. Again, if you just finished in third place, you will have lower earnings than me, and there's nothing wrong with that. If you want to finish in third, no worries. I wanted to win. I like to win. And there we go. Those are the earnings. So I'll throw up a playlist if you haven't seen day one, and I will keep adding to this playlist, throw up something else for entertainment value, and get working on stage 3 for you.